I chose to read the article, Common Core Standards Have a Dramatic Change in Elementary School Math. And it's by Lillian Mongo, I believe is how you say her last name. It really just talks about Common Core and how it's now requiring students to have a deeper understanding of math concepts and rather than just like the memorization of math facts. And it was actually really interesting because it also brought up teachers who are using Common Core now and how much different it is for them and how they've gone from a skill and drill type lesson to we're going to learn the concepts of math. Like, for example, they talk about a third grade teacher and how excited she was because for the past 20 years she's been teaching, they call it drill and kill, and for the past 20 years she's been teaching this way, and that's not how she was taught. And whenever she was trained to be a teacher, she was taught to do like what Common Core does, and so she was really excited to get started with it and actually teach kids why they're learning these things and what they do for them rather than just how to do the equation. Another teacher had a student who was a kindergarten teacher, and his student would count things, and how we've seen in these videos that we've watched in your class, like she would count the same one 2 or 3 times, and so he points out to her, he has a conversation with her, he says, hey, like, I see that you're counting some twice, are you meaning to do that? And she says, no, I just don't know how to count more than once. It's kind of confusing because there was 20 little bears in there. And so he showed her how to organize them correctly, and then now she's able to count to 20, and this was in the beginning of August, and now 3 months later is what it said that she was able to understand like how to do, like, not subtraction but like grouping kind of. She would be able to group different cookies and see how many she would have left, and it was really cool how much she's learned because of the Common Core standards. But yeah, I just really like it, and it's mainly because we've talked about it so much in our classes this semester, and really none of us have ever really heard about it, and so I wanted to read more about it, and I'm actually really excited to teach Common Core. It's scary to think about, like, because we haven't really been taught that way. I was never taught that way, at least. I was never taught to understand the concept behind the mathematical equation that we've learned or whatever. I was just taught, like, the equation, like a song to remember it or whatever, like, but that was it. So I think it's very scary to think, like, this is what I'll be teaching, but it's really interesting, and it's actually really helpful, and I think it's going to help me a lot as a person to understand math better. The article also gave, like, examples of Common Core standards, in which I haven't really looked into it, but it's, kindergarten now has to count to 100 instead of 30, and that's really cool. Like, they're really changing the way we're learning, and they're changing how we learn and what we learn at what grade, and so that makes, I think it's going to make everyone just a little bit smarter, which is like what we want. We want our future to be smarter, and so I'm really excited to implement this into my grade, into my school, because I feel that it's going to better the students. I'm also really excited to, like, challenge myself as a teacher, because when I look at some of these standards right now, I just don't really understand some of them, but I'm excited to learn about it, and I'm excited to teach myself first as I'm learning, because my students, if I don't know it, my students aren't going to be able to understand me when I'm talking about it. So this will be a huge challenge for me, and probably a huge challenge for a lot of people that I'll be graduating with, as we're all around the same age, and this is all how we've learned, and it's like a whole new thing for all of us, and I wish that we could talk about it more in class and in all of our classes. That I think it'll be very beneficial for us, but for now I'm ready to learn it on my own and just really figure out how to do all these things.